Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Cageside Live After the Bell. My name is Matthew Roth. I am joined, as always, by Sean Rueter. You can reach the show.
What up?
You can reach the show on Twitter at Cageside Seats. You can tweet at Sean S1 Rude. I'm Matt Roth 512. This is the show for post Battleground, which wasn't bad until literally the end.
That's a hot take there, Matthew Roth.
I enjoyed this show until somehow Seth Rollins turned into the Undertaker, and then the show was ruined for me. But,
wow. All right. I see. For me, this show was all downhill from the minute that the New Day lost. So
really?
Yeah, all downhill. Not really, but that's
okay. Well,
that was when the booking started to go sideways for me. Actually, though, yeah.
Well, do you want to start from the top of the card, or do you want to start from?
Let's start from the top of the card. Well, I haven't talked to you for a while. Let's build to a big finish.
Okay, we'll build to a big finish. Did you watch the pre-show?
No.
Okay. that makes sense. You never.
But I did predict the winner, so. Because I think these guys are going to feud forever. It's like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. R-Truth and Wade Barrett are destined to feud forever.
Yeah, like, here's the thing, man. R-Truth's pre-match promo with Eden was really, really good. Like, that was super good. This is just one of those, it sucks.
R-Truth is the new Santino, and Wade Barrett is the new Wade Barrett. So it is what it is. It's not going to get any better.
Remember when he was over as Bad News Barrett?
Yep. Apparently that got squashed because it was getting too many cheers. They didn't like that he was getting cheered, so they put him in this. But I don't know why they wouldn't just turn him face. But
yeah, like, he could be a face. It can work.
They hate him. They hate. And I don't know why, because he looks like somebody that they would love. I mean, he talks well. He's a big, good-looking dude. He's he's getting thinner now, but it's not like he's fat or something. I don't know. He's a mystery.
It doesn't make sense. Wade Barrett won.
Yep. And so we get more promos of. I don't know. I mean, I think they're just going to keep doing this. I think tomorrow night R-Truth will win, and they'll just keep going. They have nothing for either one of them to do otherwise.
Yeah, like it sucks for R-Truth because, like, he's actually a pretty decent promo too.
He's fun. I mean, I've had fun with him. I mean, it's a little bit. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I mean, I got a kick out of Santino too. It's not. I don't expect rocket science, but it's an entertaining little crazy person gimmick. He lives it.
Yeah, like, he lives it really well, and apparently, like, they have no faith in him outside of that role.
No, either one of these guys. They're both enhancement talent for somebody else down the road.
Mm-hmm. And again, it sucks because Wade Barrett, by, like, every other metric, should be an over guy.
I don't think he's like. I don't get that into his matches, but yeah, I mean, like I said, he looks good. He talks good. It shouldn't be hard to make him a believable, like, upper mid card guy, but
right, like
they don't want to do it.
Dolph Ziggler. He should be in that role, and they don't want to commit to it. Like, and you figured, like, here's the frustrating thing: if you're not going to commit to him as King of the Ring, why not let Adrian Neville?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You know, like,
why not actually use it to build a new star if you're just gonna, fart around with it anyway?
I don't know. I don't know. This was a stupid match. It served its purpose of opening the card. That was what it was there for.
Yep. And it will, like I said, it will probably open the card at SummerSlam too. So, hope everybody liked it. You'll keep getting it.
That's so good. It was such a good way to open a show. Getting the crowd super excited. We opened pay-per-view.
That's what they had hometown boy Randy Orton for.
Yeah, like, so.
St. Louis loves them some Viper.
Here's the thing. I don't want to make any accusations, but in the past, when Randy Orton looks the size that he was tonight, he's on the gimmick.
Oh, I see. Well, he is getting married. Maybe he wants to look good in a tux.
What did you want to? What did you want to do?
Oh no, I just made that up. I have no idea why that doesn't even mean anything.
This is again. This is one of those matches that these guys will work together until the end of time.
And here's my problem. This is going to come up again later. This was a good match. I enjoyed it, but there were zero stakes to it, and it felt like a Raw match. I mean, it felt like a Raw match that they gave a bunch of time to. We've seen this match on Raw like twice in the last month, if you watch Raw, which I sometimes do. But
they gave a lot of time to it.
They gave a lot of time to everything because they only had 6 matches booked ahead of time for the card. They added in the Divas match later. But this was crazy. I mean, this was Sunday Night Raw, really, in terms of, I mean, it had some big moments on it, but it was strangely set up.
Yeah. I just, I figured that you would let, I mean, or the RK out of nowhere. I mean,
yeah, like Gino said on Twitter. I mean, if that thing is not out of nowhere anywhere, because everybody knows it's coming.
Right. Like, I don't know. This to me, it served its purpose.
Well, and you brought up, you know, why put the King of the Ring on Barrett? Why give Sheamus the Money in the Bank briefcase? I keep forgetting he has it.
Like, is he going to cash it in and win? Because I can't see him being champion.
I mean, I guess if they're going to spin Lesnar off into a different feud, I guess you could. But I mean, then if he goes after Rollins, he's a heel chasing a heel.
Right.
I don't know. I think he's just. I don't think they're going to have him do that anything with it until next year.
I think that the business has just passed Sheamus by.
Yeah, I mean, I had a theory when he won it that, you know, he had only won it just so he could lose it, just so they would have more people. So it wasn't just Cena and Sandow were the only people who failed to cash in. That he's a big enough name that he could do it, and he stays kind of the same place on the card even if he lost.
This was just like, I don't know, Sheamus. I love watching his matches because he's a hoss.
Yeah, and they're stiff. They're stiff as fuck.
And these are stiff matches.
Yeah,
but he's just lost.
Yeah, both of these guys are lost. I mean, Orton could have been hot as hell when the RKO Vines thing came out, and he had just the Authority had turned on him. He could have been a really hot, like, tweener, anti-hero babyface act. Mm-hmm. And they sent him off to film a movie, and they pissed around with him, and now he's back where he was like in 2013 when he was just a babyface that was in feuds and mostly lost them. So I don't know what they're doing with him. They don't have any play. They have no plan for either of these guys.
No, this is literally just, hey, you know what? We need the hometown guy.
Yeah, to me, the crowd saved this match because we've seen what happens when a crowd shits on a Sheamus Orton match. That's what happened at the WrestleMania after WrestleMania 30.
Right.
This was the same match, but the crowd was really into it because it's Orton's hometown and his wife and kids and mom are in the audience. So,
right.
It was good. It was a good opener. It was the right place on the card to put it.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, this is the right place on the card. Again, it sucks because, like, there's no use for Orton right now in the WWE. Like,
not the way they've set things up. Nope.
Like, you have he's not going to compete against John. Please don't fucking let him compete against John.
We've been there too many times, dude. Don't even say it. It'll say it. It's like Beetlejuice. If you say it too many times, it'll happen.
Like, Sheamus, I think that you're correct. I think that he's carrying the Money in the Bank briefcase just so they can have somebody lose it and still say, like, hey, you never know what happens on the WWE network.
Right, exactly. Yep.
But this was a good opener. It wasn't great. These guys just know how to work together.
Yep. And like I said, it was fun because they were beating the hell out of each other, which we all like to see because we're sick bastards. So.
Yep. We got in a backstage interview with JoJo and Stephanie McMahon, and this was one of the funniest things in the world to me.
Why was that? The height thing?
Oh my god, the height thing was the best. Like, Stephanie was a full, like, 1.5 feet taller than JoJo.
Yeah, I think JoJo interviewed maybe Cesaro or somebody on Monday night last week too, and she must be like 4 feet tall.
She's
a little bit taller than Hornswoggle.
She's billed as 4'10".
There's no way.
Like,
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. They need to put some heels on that girl or something.
Yeah, or tell Stephanie, hey, you know what? Before this interview, do you mind taking off your heels? Like, Holy shit! Like that was honestly one of the funniest things.
Stephanie wants to be 7 feet tall, and she also wants to be known as the person responsible for the women's wrestling revolution,
I
apparently,
mean,
because they shoved that down our throats a lot tonight.
I mean, she is.
Yeah, I mean, she's part of it, but
I heard it on the WWE network, man.
that's true. It must be. That's right. The award-winning WWE network, so it
It is the
must be
award-winning
true.
network.
It must be true.
Like this was they had to make they had to make the best of Nikki Bella not being able to to work.
They're protecting Nikki.
Yeah, so this was the proper setup.
I'm a little. They're doing way too much. I wish. I don't know. I'm trying to not be. I got nailed on social media on Monday for being negative about the women's stuff. They could be doing it better. They could just be letting them wrestle and doing a lot less talking about them wrestling. I mean, stop talking about the revolution. These girls, except for Sasha, promos aren't their strength. So just let them wrestle and let them do it without Brie Bella. But we'll get to that.
Yep, we're gonna get to that in a little bit. We got New Day versus Primetime Players.
I love Xavier Woods so much.
Oh my god, he's so good in this role. Like, if Xavier Woods never steps foot in the ring again, and
he doesn't need to.
And just does this for the rest of his life, like this was incredible.
He's perfect. I mean, he's everything a manager should be, because he even gets involved and takes some bumps that are like an older guy or like a female manager probably you wouldn't want to see him take.
Right.
So he's great. But I mean, this was my favorite part of the night, pretty much, was just listening to him during this match.
Ever?
Yeah, worst leg drop ever. When I forget something happened to Darren Young where he got thrown to the outside. He ran over him and he goes, "Oh, what happened to you?" I loved it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, Xavier Woods is great in this role. They still Freebirds rule it just so they can.
Yeah, they don't care. But I don't know why they don't have the title, but.
Here's the thing. What's actually kind of cool though is that like both teams are getting over. Like that, there was a pretty good reaction to this match in St. Louis.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't think the thing about the Primetime Players is that when they come out, I don't think people are that into them. But then they do a really good job of wrestling as a babyface team. Darren Young gets the crap beat out of him. Titus comes in and hits some good moves, and people get behind him. It's an old formula, but it works. And and the New Day's just fun. They're fun to boo. They're fun to cheer. The whole thing. I mean, He gave him the tricep meat. I don't know what.
That was another one. The
tricep meat.
Oh my god! Just the shit that Xavier Woods says is amazing.
And he's just out there riffing too. So
yeah, like these are not planned lines. Primetime Players retain.
Mm-hmm.
The
finish was really fun too. I mean, I liked this match a lot actually. The finish was fun. It was all over the place. To me, I would rather have. I think, just like you said, I think the crowd gets really into it. I think the crowd would be more into it consistently if the heels were the champs and the Primetime Players kept getting screwed over trying to take the belts off of them. But I guess that's just a booking preference from me. I don't know.
No, that's how wrestling should be booked, though. Like,
yeah,
the champ should be chasing the title, which is why we fell in love with Sami Zayn.
Yep.
Not the champ.
And Daniel Bryan.
The baby face should be chasing the title. Yeah. The champ. Yep. The baby face should chase the title, not the other way around, because I don't want to see the heel succeed.
Right.
But I'll keep tuning in if the baby face continually comes up short.
And this is, I don't know, I hopefully New Day, because they were getting cheered for most of it, but then they eventually turned it around. I don't want. They finally got going well, and WWE got behind them a little bit when they were heels. I don't want them to get confused and try to make them faces again, or like bury them because they're not getting the right reaction like they say they're doing with Barrett. I don't know. I get nervous. I don't know why I spend half my time watching WWE being nervous that they're going to ruin people. So, and I still watch, which is why it doesn't matter if they ruin anybody or not, because I'm still sitting here like an idiot. So there you go. But yeah, I like this match. I wasn't crazy about the outcome, but Keith Harris on Twitter said that he thinks PTP needs to hold it for like another month so that their run isn't a total joke. But which I guess I can buy that.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'd actually be okay with that.
I think the tag belts
Actually,
don't mean a whole
not
lot anyway, but
yeah, but just so they're not transitional champions.
yeah, might as well.
I mean, again, this doesn't really matter all that
No,
much.
no. I mean, that's sort of everything tonight is kind of like that. That's the problem with this whole show. I thought it had a lot of good wrestling on it. I enjoyed it. I don't feel like I wasted 3 hours, but I don't feel like if I didn't tune in, I would have really missed anything.
Right. Um, let's see. Then we got a backstage segment between Paige, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte. And holy shit, Becky Lynch is super Irish.
I'm wondering if they didn't turn up her Irishness or not. You know, Vince loves the ethnic gimmick.
Oh my god, dude! Like, I didn't understand half of the things that she said.
And they did some building of her on NXT heading into whatever the last takeover was called, where she had the title shot, and I could understand what she said there. That's why. I don't know why all of a sudden she's like fresh off the boat from County Cork or whatever.
Right. I mean, she sounded super Irish when they did the Finn Balor. The Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn Balor. Well, she said Fergal a lot. Fergal.
Yeah.
And how do you not sound Irish when you're saying Fergal?
When you're saying Fergal, but she sounded super Irish tonight. And when she like her voice cracked at one point, and this was just you're completely right. None of these women, like none of the women from NXT, are good speakers except for Sasha Banks.
Right. Charlotte's really not good. Becky is fine, sort of in small doses. Paige is all right, but I'm sort of over Paige at this point. I don't like her character. I don't know, but
I don't understand her character. I think
that's true. Yeah,
and
I feel no attachment to it. Like I don't want to root against her or for her. She's just sort of there.
I don't think that they understand her either. I think it's just,
no, and I think that trio, whatever they call them, Gino calls them the Powerpuff Girls. I understand Becky and Paige are together because they sort of came up together in the Indies, and they're both from the UK, but. Charlotte shouldn't be with that group. Her and Paige like feuded in NXT and they beefed online and they don't seem like they get along. It's like we just threw them together because those are like the three white girls.
That's actually what I was about to say. They're the three white girls. Like
Sasha with the other two, at least I didn't like the idea at first, but I'm coming around on it. It sort of makes sense. And as long as it ends up with Sasha like, you know, treating them like her lackeys, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm glad they're making some progress with the women's wrestling, but I still think they're like leaving money on the table. They could have done this rollout in a much more exciting way than what they've done over the last week.
Yeah, that's true. I think that it's still a step in the right direction compared to what
it is. I agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like I don't wish they wouldn't have done this. I just thought that it was going to go a little bit of a different way.
Right.
Or it could have gone a more. I mean, like even tonight, like we spent all this time talking, and then when they got to the match, is that match next? Are we up to that match yet?
We got Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't want to jump ahead then. I'll get back. I'll get back to complaining about that in a second. Then.
Okay. So this match, I thought, remember what was it? It was pretty much 2 years ago. These guys closed out a Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they stunk up the building.
Yeah.
Like it was awful.
It was during the Shield Wyatt family feud, and they sort of rushed it into that to giving them a one-on-one that they weren't ready for.
Because people were super hyped about Bray Wyatt, and everybody thought like this is the chance for Roman Reigns to like show that he's the guy.
Right.
And they weren't ready. Like at that time, Bray Wyatt wasn't able to carry a match. He was good in a match. He wasn't able to carry a match. And Roman Reigns was protected by Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Yeah. So all he was is the spear, Superman punch, triple powerbomb guy. And so he didn't have to do anything back when the Shield was like dominating. And so that match 2 years ago stunk out the joint. Tonight, I think that this was my favorite match of the night.
All right, I could see that. I don't know if
I thought it was a brutal match. Like they both sold really, really well for each other. Like there was a lot of impact. They both this was a great it was a great way to actually measure how far they've come along.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it showed where they've progressed and where. I mean, I want to say. I mean, I in a lot of ways I felt this was kind of like a step back for Roman in some ways. I mean, I think like action wise it was really good, but I think it showed some of his deficiencies in storytelling. Like
Yeah,
his comebacks, I didn't see a whole lot of. I mean, well, I guess I should back up because I have a problem with the story of this match, which or the story of this whole feud. I feel like they did it backwards. They brought in the stuff with Roman's daughter early, which should have been like the last thing that happened. That should have happened on the go home show.
no.
Because for somebody who, you know, if Bray Wyatt's supposedly threatening his daughter and all this stuff and stalking him and taking pictures of him on the fly at his house, he should be a lot more concerned. He shouldn't have just been la-di-da about this match. So I wish Roman had some more fire throughout, and that it really noticed it in some of his comebacks to me, like towards the end. But I like this match a lot too. I thought it was really good. I think it really showed that Bray is more of a ring general than he was 2 years ago. But it's still the problem that I had with this match is still that I don't know what it matters for either one of these guys. This whole feud was just about getting the family back together, which I'm hyped for. I mean, I missed Luke Harper on my television, but I don't know. They did a really great pre-match video package, and it felt like a big deal. And then I don't know, it didn't follow through as a big deal for me.
No, it's just a match. It just ended up being just a good match.
It's like a good Raw match.
Right. So here's the thing. I think that just this kind of story, or this feud, I'm not a fan of the feud because they obviously need to build up Bray Wyatt again. They continually kill him.
Right.
And so like, there's no consistency with that character. And right. Roman Reigns, like, have they cooled down on him?
That's what I spent this whole match thinking that they must have. Like, because I was thinking when this match got made, well, first of all, I went into Money in the Bank thinking he was going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. That didn't happen. I went into this match thinking that this might be a one-off feud, a one-match feud where Roman went over and then maybe he's the next guy to face Rollins if they're going to spin Lesnar off. Now that's not going to happen. So, I mean, I'm thinking, if they still think he's the guy, they don't think he's the guy anytime soon because they're not booking him the way they were last year. He didn't get a pin I don't think he's gotten a win since this feud started. That's sort of the story they're trying to spin is that Bray's in his head, but that's still, it's not a good look if he's going to be a future main event, top of the card guy to be losing to a guy who's jobbed out to a lot of different people over the last year, starting with Cena. I don't know. I think they must have cooled on him.
Like that was the one thought that I had is that that they've pretty much decided that maybe he's not our guy or he's a future guy but not the current guy. I don't know.
Right.
That was
yeah. I mean, the other thing is, go ahead. Sorry.
But I mean, like they've built themselves into such a bad way with both guys. So like. Yeah. Bray Wyatt, they've killed that character so many times. So he needs to get wins. He needs to get big wins. And he needs to get pay-per-view wins. Like you can't have him lose every single pay-per-view, and say like I'm the new face of fear. I'm the blah blah blah, and continually lose on pay-per-view. It's not viable.
Right.
But at the same time, somebody like someone like Roman Reigns, his whole character. I mean, I guess I'm not really making sense either, because I just said that that heels need to win and the babyface needs to
yeah.
Like I don't know.
To me, that formula really works if you either have it like being really personal feud or a championship feud. I don't know what this feud was really about. I mean, it's about Bray wants it to be anybody but Roman, whatever that means. They sort of wanted to have this be like a reality feud, but then they didn't. So it ended up being like nobody was sure what to make of it, which is the story of most of Bray's feuds, honestly.
Right. No,
it starts off and you think, fuck yeah, this is going to be great. He's going to spit fire at this guy, and then they're going to have this slobber knocker, and it just ends up usually with him losing and with a bunch of promos that you only get the cryptic thing that started it, never turns into anything more. So, I mean, the good thing for me here, the main takeaway is that Harper is back with Wyatt, which is part. I mean, that's when they started to screw up Bray's character, when they took away his cult, when he became a cult leader with no cult.
Right.
So that's a good sign. The other interesting thing is, I don't know if there was a rumor going around today that Sting was going to show up and get involved in this match on Reigns' side, setting up a tag team match for SummerSlam between Reigns and Sting.
Thank God that didn't happen.
Wyatt and Harper. It still might. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the feud that makes sense, I guess, is, Wyatt and Harper versus Ambrose and Reigns. But, WWE sometimes does things that don't make sense.
Right. This I thought was a good match. Now that I'm thinking about it, I did have problems with it, but I thought overall it was a nice indicator of how far they progressed. I just think that the big complaint that I have is they kind of killed Roman Reigns, and I don't know what that means for his character.
Yeah, I don't know either. My big takeaway from this match is that I still fucking hate the gun cocking. And he even did it. He did like a Superman punch out of nowhere, and he still had to pretend to jerk his hand off for a second in between. I hate it. So on the plus side, Luke Harper's back with Bray Wyatt. On the negative side, Roman Reigns still masturbates his hand a lot.
Yep. That's just required for the Superman punch.
Apparently, because the Superman punch that he did hit on Wyatt, he couldn't get a 3 count because he only got like one jerk on it. He didn't get multiples. So
right,
there you go. He's got to get the full. Yeah, he's got to finish it.
Yep. We got a backstage interview, JoJo with Team Bad.
They didn't need 3 backstage interviews to set up that match.
Oh.
But they didn't. I mean, they had a lot of time to kill, I guess, with Ryback's injury and the fact that they sort of lightly booked this show to begin with. So.
Yep. The match itself. So as I said before, it's a nice step in the correct direction.
Agreed.
Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Brie Bella. The odd one out there was Brie Bella. I think that she threw off everybody else's timing. But I also have complaints about Charlotte too, because I think that her matches with like Paige and like the first Sasha Banks one, that's not who she is anymore. She's kind of getting really, really sloppy.
Agreed.
And I don't know what happened in that period of time, but she's not as good as like Becky Lynch. I think that Becky Lynch would have been a better fit for this match. But I thought this was a nice step in the correct direction. Sasha Banks I thought looked great. Brie Bella looked awful. Like she did not belong in that ring with the other two.
Yeah.
Charlotte botched a couple of times.
The thing is, I got a bunch of thoughts on this. I mean, the thing with Charlotte is she is kind of like, I mean, she's sort of, I guess Orton can be like this. Cena can be like this sometimes. She wrestles to the level of her competition. Like that last Wednesday, she had a really good one-on-one match with Sasha Banks. She had that great one-on-one match with Natalya at one point. But if you put her in there with somebody kind of sloppy, she had a horrible match with Dana Brooke at one point. She didn't work well with Brie tonight. Totally threw her off. She's very... I don't know. There's a lot of variation between her performances, whereas somebody like Sasha, you know what you're going to get, and she can usually get a good match out of anybody.
Right.
And I think even her, I mean, even working with Brie and some of those, I mean, she still got her shit in, and it still looked good. Like she still got the double knee drop in the corner. She stacked them. She still hit, the bank statement thing. I mean, she can still get that stuff in. But like you said, I mean, I think we're in agreement. This is a step in the right direction. But if it were me, if I had the book here, I would have cut all the talking segments, and I would have just brought out or just done one talking segment where they sort of like maybe get in each other's faces to set up some tension. And then you go out there and you let the best wrestlers from each of those 3 squads fight each other, because that's what's gotten these ladies over is wrestling. We don't talk about how much we love the talking segments on NXT. We talk about how they go out there and they deliver 20-minute matches that are as good as any men's matches. So they should have just let Sasha, Becky, and Alicia Fox go out there and tear the house down for 15 minutes, and we'd all be buzzing about that now instead of, it was an okay match that was a step in the right direction.
Right. Brie Bella nearly died several times.
It's not funny, but yeah, she landed on her head on the outside.
Oh my God. Like it's not funny, man, but like she was really unsafe. Like she was like seriously unsafe in this.
Luckily, she was mostly a danger to herself, from what I saw. But
like
I don't mean. I mean that's horrible, but she shouldn't. Yeah.
she's not big enough to be a danger to anybody else. She's like what, like a $115, $120.
Yeah, yeah.
Like she's not a danger to anybody else except for herself. But that outside spot where like she nearly broke her neck.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah.
I don't know, like she's the one. She's improved a lot from the Bella's first WWE run before they
True.
They can
Yes.
go into Hollywood. She still sucks. Like Charlotte, she has so much potential,
Yeah.
but she's so sloppy that like even their introduction, like when they got introduced by Stephanie,
Mm-hmm. Last Monday, yeah.
he straight up chopped Nikki Bella in the throat.
Yeah.
Like that's really sloppy. You can't do that. I agree with you. I think that it should have been Sasha, Fox, and
Becky. Yep.
That would have been a killer match. Like Becky is again,
she's just got so much experience, and her and Sasha have great chemistry together. And you know, and Alicia Fox isn't the best, but she knows how to put together a good match, and I have confidence that she'd be okay with these girls. She wouldn't botch the way Brie did.
Right, and Alicia Fox is athletic and she can do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was just this was.
It could have been great, and it was only good.
Right.
I mean, I think that's.
But because we have such low expectations for main roster women's matches, this was a great match.
But my concern is that we still have. I mean, the main roster crowds. We still have like the crowds that will chant like "You suck, Cena" at Nikki. So you really have to go overboard to convince some people, I think, that they should not treat women's matches as a bathroom break. And I don't know that this was good enough to change somebody's mind.
No, it wasn't.
So
they have a lot of work ahead of them. And again, I think it's gonna be Becky Lynch. If she toned down the Irish.
My concern with Becky too is I feel like all of a sudden they're going to go from maybe booking 2 women at a time to all of a sudden now they're going to have something for 9 of them to do. Somebody's going to get lost in the shuffle here. Vince isn't going to all of a sudden turn over an hour of Raw to women's matches.
Right.
So, I mean, I think there's reason to be optimistic, but we also have the last 10 years of booking that didn't just disappear because last Monday night was cool.
Right.
That we have to watch out for.
I mean, I think the big losers in this entire thing though are like Naomi and Tamina Snuka.
Yeah, probably. And Naomi might at least be in like a cool story. I mean, I think at some point she gets to feud with Sasha probably, but I don't know. I don't know if that's more than a 1-match feud.
What I did have in thought that I had though was that it's I don't know if this is true or not, but it seems like when the NXT women get called up to the main roster, they kind of start regressing because they're not working these long matches. So and
they're not working as frequently, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Paige was great in NXT, and she's taking a step back on the main roster.
Yep.
Emma was great in NXT, and she took a step back on from the main roster.
Summer Rae had worked herself into being a decent heel, like storyteller in the ring, and she's back to being god awful in the ring. So, I mean, that's where, like we've already seen with Charlotte. I mean, that's also a concern. If she's not going to work as much, and she's not going to work with this quality of competitors as she's used to, is she going to regress even more?
Right. And that's my one fear. I think that it's great that you have these 4 women now, and I guess 5 because I think that Nikki Bella is one of the best wrestlers right now in the world. You have these 5 really, really good wrestlers, and it just seems like, hey, they need to always be working together. They can't you can't have Brie Bella in the ring with Paige because Paige is going to look like shit.
Right.
So I don't know. That's my thought. I thought it was a good match. It was a step in the right direction. It wasn't great. It wasn't the match of the night. People are going crazy on Twitter that are saying that.
Yeah,
but
no.
It was a good match. The next match I thought was really good, which is Cena versus Owens. Until I thought it was a,
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel, dude. I don't know what to say.
okay. I thought it was a good match. It turned into a spot fest, and
Yeah.
it didn't have the same emotional feel of the first two. So like this just seemed like a good this just seemed like a match. It didn't have the same I didn't get the same feeling from it as I did with Money in the Bank or last month.
Yeah, I think where did they have the first, they had the first one at Elimination Chamber? Is that
Yeah,
when the first one was? That's my favorite one still. And I don't know, that's some of that is just because we were all on the edge of our seats. We didn't think they'd put over Owens, but we thought they might. And the longer the match went on, we were wondering, is he just getting the rub, of almost beating him, or is he actually going to get a chance to beat him? And and so that was my favorite match of the series for me. I still thought this was a really good match. I think these guys, they have good chemistry together. I think Owens has pretty quickly gotten on the short list of like greatest Cena opponents, probably. I mean, I'm a mark for the guy, but I do think they bring out good stuff in each other.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't think it wasn't like they didn't like raise their game noticeably above those first two matches. And just the finish. I mean, man, I expected Cena to win. I didn't expect Owens to tap.
Yeah,
And
I think if they did like a Stone Cold Steve Austin Bret Hart,
yeah, you know what I was thinking throughout this match? I might have read this somewhere, so this probably isn't an original thought, but ROH used to do it. I don't know if anybody does it anymore. ROH used to do it all the time, but like announce the time limits of the match and have time limit draws. Like this would have been a great time for if it was a 30-minute time limit, have it go to a draw and say we got to rematch it later.
Yep.
I mean, this just hurt.
Yeah.
The tapping out. I mean, is it gonna? I mean, are we gonna get? Is Owens going to get a win back at SummerSlam, or is this going to be like the Rusev and Wyatt feuds where they won one and they lost all the rest of them? If they announced that SummerSlam was going to be an I Quit match, I think I might quit because we all know how that's turning out.
Right. It's literally going to be, I guess Kevin Steen and Kevin Owens quitting. And I don't know. My one hope, though, is that we're going to we would get a Cesaro Cena feud, like an actual real feud between the two.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping maybe that they would schmoz this a little bit, maybe have Rusev run in to get revenge for Monday and prevent a clean finish, and either set up a fatal four-way for SummerSlam with those guys, with Cesaro, Rusev, Owens, and Cena, or something. Keep those guys in it. I don't know. That's another. I mean, Cesaro got a great buzz out of a couple of weeks worth of a mini program with Cena for the U.S. title. I don't know where. I mean, are they going to keep him in it? I don't know. Same thing with Rusev. I don't know.
Like that's the other thing. Like it seems like where was Cesaro on this card?
He wasn't. I mean, there were the number of people they left off this card: Cesaro, Ziggler, Rusev, Ambrose,
Neville.
Yeah, it's like they're treating SummerSlam like it's WrestleMania. They're bringing back Taker. They might bring back Sting, and just like with WrestleMania, the younger mid card guys are getting screwed. There might not be anything for them.
Right. And it's
or they're going to come up with something like Battle Royal match to get them all on SummerSlam.
And it's stupid because I don't want to see Adrian Neville in a Battle Royal.
Right.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see, Cesaro in another Battle Royal. I've already seen it. I do want to see Cesaro versus Rusev get 15 minutes on a pay-per-view because they tore the house down on Raw. That's my complaint for the overall card. This match turned into a spot fest. It was good. It just turned into
and the spot that I think WWE defenders and I think probably even WWE creative would point to. They would say, "Well, he kicked out of the top rope AA."
Yep,
Owens did, and that is a big deal. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a super big deal because everybody kicks out of regular AAs. So, and Cena kicked out of all kinds of ridiculous shit that got thrown at him. So it's the same. You know, it's like Owens said at the beginning. We've seen the act for 10 years. We know what's coming.
Yep.
And it's shame on us for thinking it was going to be any different, I guess. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. I mean, I'm torn too because Cena as U.S. champion has been one of the most entertaining things about this year.
Mm-hmm.
He puts on some. I mean, the springboard stunner might be the stupidest piece of shit I've ever seen.
No. His.
I mean, they should just change the name of it to "He didn't get all of it" because Michael Cole says that every time he tries it.
His code red is stupid.
Yeah, but he's trying. God bless him, and he's putting on putting on long matches where he's letting other guys show off too, which is good.
So
I don't necessarily want him to lose the U.S. title, but maybe that's where we're headed. Is maybe they think that's how they're going to get the heat back with Owens, is if he wins like a fatal 4-way where he pins Rusev or Cesaro, probably Cesaro.
So
I don't know.
So spoiler for everybody else. I'm finishing up a story. I just haven't had a consistent amount of time to.
Spoiler: he's been working on it for about a month, y'all.
I haven't had a consistent amount of time to actually write. Like
I know. I have to bust your balls because I'm still waiting for that Scooby-Doo story from 2 years ago.
That I'm actually finishing up too. I'm going to put that retroactively, like a review of it, just to fuck with everybody.
I want to read it. I've been wanting to read that thing for about 1.5 years, so put it up.
But this
post that shit.
So I'm writing a story which should go up either tomorrow or Tuesday, depending on my timing to actually sit down and write, on Cena as being the best, the all-time greatest top guy, and following that, which we need to schedule it, but we've talked about it. Gino, myself, Sean, and probably several other Cageside Seats members of the writing staff are going to do a hangout to discuss who their favorite top guy is, or who they think is the best top guy of all time. So my piece is coming out on tomorrow or Tuesday, and then we'll figure out when that roundtable happens. But I think that Cena really is making a case for best top guy, and it's really because of this, this U.S. title run.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. But I wish they could get out of this habit of. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's the point of having Owens lose the NXT belt if you're not going to? I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's like if anybody can deal with a string of losses like this, it's that guy. He can do it. He can do everything. He can talk. He can go in the ring. He can do commentary. He's got good chemistry doing, physical and verbal stuff with other wrestlers. He's going to be fine, but he shouldn't have to overcome, 4 losses in 2 weeks or whatever it's been. I mean, his month of July, he hasn't won in July, and that's not how you book your up and coming guy. So it's just, it's the story. It's the 2 stories of this whole pay-per-view are what does it matter or I'm scared for young people.
Right.
Which is WWE in a nutshell, I guess.
Right. And it's also the former top guys being of the young people.
Yeah. Yep.
Next segment, The Miz comes out. Gets punched in the face by Big Show. That's it.
I mean, I get a kick out of The Miz. He's such a good heel. He's good. He's fine in this mid card role, but this was time killer. This was. I mean, the Intercontinental title doesn't matter, and that they didn't even care about it. Just Ryback was hurt, so they just pretended it doesn't happen. So,
so here's the one thing, and I've said it on Twitter because I'm kind of following Tough Enough this year. I almost called it The Ultimate Fighter. I've been following Tough Enough this year, and The Miz hosts the after show on the network. He's killing it in that role.
Yep.
Like, The Miz is really, really good with a microphone. And again, we've said it over and over again whenever we do these shows. That's why he's going to be with the WWE as long as he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're never going to future endeavor him. It's going to be him saying, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yep.
Because he's so good with a microphone.
And I don't think he'll ever, I mean, honestly, maybe he will at some point, but I mean, this has been his dream. Yeah, I mean, he's really good. Like you said, he's really good at it. They probably could book him better in the ring and make even more of it, but they're not going to. So whatever. They can never take away his WWE championship. It's always there in the record books.
Yep. And he didn't he beat John Cena?
He beat John Cena at WrestleMania in the main event of WrestleMania.
Yep.
The Rock was involved, and it was a little schmazzy, but he did it.
You know who didn't beat John Cena at the main event of WrestleMania?
Anybody else?
CM Punk.
That's true. Yeah.
Hey, CM Punk.
Yeah.
You get the headline WrestleMania. The Miz did.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. Punk might be a jerk, but I still miss that guy, and he usually speaks the truth. He just might, whatever. People got a little worked up in a post about him last week about this guy's loser and blah blah blah. And I don't care what he does in MMA. That's a joke too. But he was one of the best in WWE, and he did get screwed. So
anyway, we got to the main event.
Speaking of guys getting screwed and champions book like The Miz.
Fart noise.
Yeah. I didn't hate the ending as much as you did, but I hate the way they book Rollins. And I hate the way commentary was talking about him, like from the entrances. They were just wondering if Seth Rollins was going to be killed or not. Why should I care about this guy ever again? You're telling me how lousy he is. You're telling me how he doesn't deserve to stand in the same ring with Brock Lesnar, a guy who's only going to be on 5 more shows this year, which I don't have a problem with, but he should be helping to make other guys look good. He shouldn't be used to make your freaking champion look like crap.
Right. This was rough. This was not So here's the thing. I love Brock Lesnar's gimmick of the Suplex City bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great gimmick. It's amazing.
Yep.
It's amazing. And Seth Rollins sells it so well. Like, he sells German suplexes super well. Here's my issue with this match. One, you're making, this is your top guy. This is your champ. And so either you've basically told your audience that he's a huge pussy. This guy is weak. He's not able to do anything properly. He looks for easy ways out. He's not a fighter, not a fighter's champ.
Right.
That's just been his entire title reign though, and even leading into the title, he's always been looking for the easy way out. And I don't like that character because Seth Rollins could be so much more.
Yeah. And yeah.
And I thought that the match itself was solid. Brock Lesnar hitting all the suplexes, Rollins not being dead even though he was dead. He had that one suplex where he landed on in a kneeling position and slapped Lesnar in the face. There was little things like that which I was this is really cool. They're doing it right. He's going to go down, but he's at least going down fighting. But the way that the match ended, that schmaz finish, was so stupid. It was legitimately dumb. Having the Undertaker come out and did Lesnar win by DQ?
I guess so, because Rollins disappeared. I mean,
so did Mike Chioda though. Mike Chioda was bailed too.
Yeah, well, you just get out of the way when two forces of nature like that are going to square off. I don't know. I mean, yeah.
But again, going into Lester's gimmick, which is, a suplex people, a German suplex people, you can't do that with the Undertaker right now. The Undertaker's 70 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's.
Well, that's the thing is some people I guess are excited for Lesnar Taker 2. I guess it'd be Lesnar Taker 3 at this point. But that match at WrestleMania was crap. It just had it had a finish that nobody expected, so it went right into the history books. But the match was horrible. Taker got concussed right away, and it just wasn't. It was probably one of Brock's worst matches in his return. So that's what we're looking forward to again. I don't know. And then I guess the kayfabe story isn't because Lesnar and Taker were back for this year's Mania, and Undertaker didn't mention him, didn't say he cared about the streak. He didn't. He never even spoke a word. He didn't say anything. So I guess that's maybe they're out. But why wouldn't he have gone after him? Why wouldn't he have stopped him from keeping his title that night? Why is tonight? Is it because he broke Kane's ankle? Like all of a sudden, Kane and Taker are best brothers again?
Yeah, they're brothers again, man.
I don't know. I mean, I thought it was a cool moment. I mean, I would. I mean, the gong gets me every time, even though I'm not a super Taker mark. I like that. I like that Taker came in with like a different edge to him. I mean, he hit him with the low blow. I don't know if Taker's going to be the heel. I mean, that's the other thing that's. I don't want to say interesting. Might be too strong a word, but it's worth watching. Lesnar. They just turned Lesnar face, and now they brought Taker back to feud with him. So is Taker a heel here? I mean, he acted like one tonight, which would be interesting. He also sort of had like his biker clothes on. That wasn't really the full dead man garb. That was just the leather pants and the singlet top. So maybe it's heel biker Taker's back. I don't know. Rolling.
The dead man's dead, but he's on a motorcycle once again. He's like,
I don't know, man.
He's like,
yeah, fucking A. Johnny Blaze in the house. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It's too. I mean, and now Rollins is still champ. But what's his story now? I mean, they could have even, if they wanted to keep booking Seth as the chicken shit heel, they should have done like a ref bump. Taker comes in, hits the 2 tombstones, and then Rollins pins Lesnar and acts like the man.
Right.
But they don't even do that. He's just not even important to the story after Undertaker's gong hits.
Right. I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I thought it was a cool moment, but it wasn't a good story.
Yep.
So
I just think that they probably one. I think that they expected a different fan reactions. Like after this, Undertaker's the babyface.
And it probably will be. I mean, I think that goes right back to it. Maybe that's part of why they're doing it. Maybe they don't want, because it's a lot easier for them to book Lesnar as a heel. Maybe this is their way of getting back to that. I don't know.
Then does Lesnar move on from he doesn't care about the title anymore? I don't know. There's just.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you've always got the problem with Lesnar because I think if he works SummerSlam, if he works SummerSlam, he's probably off until like Survivor Series again.
Right. At least
he's worked because he's actually worked a bunch of dates this summer. He worked the Tokyo show. He worked this pay-per-view. He worked a ton of Raws in between both of those. And now he's going to work most of the Raws on the way to SummerSlam, I think. So he's probably off for like 3 months after this.
Right. And then, I don't know. It just...
I mean, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with the title picture. Because like I said, my other thought was maybe they try to push Reigns back up there. But he's not ready. I mean, he's tied up now and just coming off of a loss. You bring Ambrose back out? You couldn't even find a spot for him on this pay-per-view? And he just lost to Rollins 3 pay-per-views in a row before that? I don't know what they do. Who's the big baby face you're going to have chase Rollins now?
I have no idea.
I don't either. I don't know.
Just
But they're probably gonna like just sort of ignore it and just spend a lot of time on Taker, Lesnar, and maybe bring Sting back. Which you and I are on the same page about Sting. So
yep. Well, we're not going to give our opinion because
we might get fired. You don't even get paid, and you can still get fired.
Yep, because there's a general listening.
Mm-hmm. Big Sting mark general. Yeah, I said it. Come at me, bro.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if I was going to give if I was going to slap a letter grade on this show, I'd probably go somewhere in the C range. Because like I said, I thought there was good wrestling action. I liked a lot of the matches. I liked things that happened even in the last match. Fucking Lesnar dead jumping over the barricade was insane.
I know, like that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool shit that happened on this show, but I don't think it was in service of a good story. So I don't, what good does it do me? That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, like as far as match quality go, I think it was like a B plus.
Mm-hmm.
I think as far as leading into something else. Like this has to build into SummerSlam, and coming out of this, I don't see how they actually have SummerSlam. Any sort of payout. Like there's no payoff for it because like we just saw the Undertaker tombstone Brock Lesnar twice, so he's not gonna he's not gonna go he's not gonna give up on the Undertaker to keep pursuing the title, but he should. I don't get what they do with him. I don't understand the like you have to do something with Cena and I guess Owens at SummerSlam. There needs to be a payoff for Owens at this point. It just it just doesn't make sense what they did. So as far as storyline goes, this was a C minus. As far as match quality goes, this was like a B plus.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
I would agree with that. Another thing is, I mean, who do you put over in Lesnar versus Undertaker? Neither guy should lose that match.
Nope.
I mean, well, Taker should lose it because he's fucking 50 years old, right? And Brock Lesnar's Brock Lesnar, but
everybody knows that he's 50 years old, so it's not just like, oh, hey, this force, like this incredible force. We all know that he's old. Like we all know, like it looked like he had a hard time doing his pose at the end. Like his knees are fucked. Like this is
because he doesn't have leg day. Did you see that Instagram poster? He's all upper body. This guy. He never works on his lower body.
Well, he doesn't have to. He's wrestling's an upper body sport.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, everybody knows that. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, as is usually the case.
Yeah, I think that it just. I don't know what they do going forward. That sucks.
Well, the sad thing is I think we do know what they do going forward, and we're not going to really like it, and it's just going to keep happening that way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've been saying this stuff forever.
That's actually true. That's actually what it's going
to be. Yeah.
We know what they're going to do, and it sucks, and it's disappointing, and this whole thing's disappointing. Life sucks. Love sucks. Dose out.
Damn, that's the most depressing sign-off ever. I guess everyone will just have to deal with it.
Yep, deal with it.